property owner who rents out property in our neighborhood where I am, Camp Washington. It ended up being a grant of about $22,000. This building was a clapboard house, and the whole outside was peeling. I can make I hate to make a long story like this short because this is a classic. But now we are in 2015. The guy has orders on the house again. He was ordered to vacate it, and it was vacated for the early part of the 2000s up until he got the lead grant in 2006. Again, the building is now in deplorable condition. Again, the paint is shedding again, and if the one side of the house was lead-based paint, the other side of the house is lead-based paint. They only dealt with one side because they didn't have enough money. The other side is right in the neighbor's yard. Now, if I'm the neighbor with little kids, you know, I better be ready to take my kids to the lead test and everything else. But what happened is that, to me, there was a breakdown here because I think if somehow the community played a role, whether it was the community council in Camp Washington, whether it was the development corporation in Camp Washington, and of course we're at a meeting with the Community Development Corporation Association, that the neighborhood could have given a perspective on this, that maybe what we didn't want happening in our neighborhood is an allowing a slumlord who was a long time, he's owned this house since 1975, to basically extend the life of his slum property for another 9 years now. And so the grant of $22,000 is completely down the drain. And you know, sometimes you hear the thing like, hey, the lead grant was closing out, we had to get the money out the door. But this was just a waste. And not only was it a waste of the grant money, again, it allowed a slumlord to perpetuate a bad situation for another 10 years. And now we're here at the same place. He's got orders on it. And actually, I don't know if the orders have ever come to the attention of the health department. But because, you know, I don't know that lead house is really tracked as a lead house. So the building department has orders. And the building department, you know, gives you the standard. Yep, you know, one of the things is you got to do something with the outside of your property. And so therefore, you know, if you get it painted, you got to use lead-safe practices and stuff like that. But that's only part of it. That house should have been somehow, or should be, or should come to the attention of the health department. That, so therefore, you know, not only are we affecting the kids that are living there now, but we're also affecting the neighborhood and allowing slumlordism to continue. And I would also, if you want to do something, I'd like a response, but also if you want a more specific thing, like say, hey, I'd like to meet with you after and can we talk about that particular house, I would say yes.
Okay. But go on Easy Track and find out if it's been cited by the health department. The answer to your question may be online.
Well, chances are, if there hasn't been a child in the house recently, like, so if you,
Well, there has been.
Originally, has there been now? That would be what would spur a referral out the health department. Is if there was a young child in the house that had a blood test that tested hot, you know, either 5 to 9 or 10 and above.
All right, but let me take it to the other level, and that is the community level. We've talked about here about this kid and that kid and that kid. I understand that, but the level of how this affects the community, is there a way that the building department, the health department can say, you know something, here are the addresses we're doing in your neighborhood. Is there some input that you guys have into this?
We do try to work with the building department, especially as far
Now,
as...
I'm talking about with the neighborhood.
Right.
We do try to work. I definitely would love to talk with you and give you my card and we can discuss that a little bit further as far as getting the communities involved. Yes, we want the communities involved. We want to know, you know, from the public health lead investigation side, we can only issue orders and do risk assessments from that side if there's a lead poisoned child in the home. We can't just do it based off on a complaint, unfortunately, at this time.
That's where this whole thing started
That's-
years ago.
Well, it has to be a lead poisoned child.
And that's where it started,
Yeah.
back in about the year 2000.
But if it was cleared at some point, that case becomes closed, and until another lead poisoned child comes in, it's not where until we get called back in.
The problem is state law.
Yeah.
State law's gotta be
I
fixed.
can say that's pretty insane.
Yeah, we're bounded by what we can do from the state. But as far as from the grant perspective of the program, unfortunately, they already went through the grant. Ideally, we would probably not want to do that property based on what the owner. We are definitely trying to be stricter with the owner's responsibility from the grant program as far as trying to make it available for low-income families, young children, and making sure that those are being occupied by them. So we definitely want, if there's properties like that, there's owners that are willing and wanting to work with us and wanting to apply for this, yes, we want to work with communities that are looking for that and doing that. That's why we're here. We're reaching out from that perspective.
But
Can we
Patricia's
get
right, really,
applications?
the whole question. I mean, the state should want to be proactive to prevent this
Right.
rather than just acting after the kids. Now, could the Department of Community and Economic Development, I know you guys work with the neighborhoods. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting when you get cases to kind of bring the neighborhood into it.
Yeah, I mean, and we're always trying to kind of find better ways to
Yeah.
do what we do. Now, I did want to speak to just part of that. The contractors that we use now and the methods that we mandate that they use are, Steve would tell you, if I were just to renovate a house the way I renovate, just go to Home Depot and do my thing, it costs about half as much as it costs to do a lead home. So the processes that we have in place and the materials that we require, all of that, I think has improved even in the last 10 years to the point where, we're doing work that's going to last, for quite a while. Which is why people hate getting a licensure. It's an annoying process that, requires a lot of time. And so from a workmanship perspective, I think that is steadily improving as this has gone on. So.
Cooper, did you have a question?
Well, it was just that Paul, I think Paul was always reading my mind because we get the technical side, we get the system side, but until it becomes personal and this living place in Camp Washington, or an occupant of a building the owner is not being responsible about, and the neighbors, the impact on the neighborhood, we don't get excited about it. But as soon as he started talking, you can feel the room. It's like, this is real, and we need to do something about it. So that's what I think. The more that we can kind of tap into real stories and connect with the larger community, the better.
I do kind of have a question, and this is kind of coming from one of our risk assessors, is that, several times we go and do a risk assessment in a property, and we get property owners who maybe are like that, where they are not proactive, they don't care about it, they want to just
They are milking
get us
it.
off their back.
Right.
And they sometimes are willing to sell their properties. Is there other community development CSC people that would be willing to buy some of these properties, that maybe we can get them in touch with these owners that just want to get rid of this
Well,
problem property?
if you pass those names and addresses on to us, we can check with the CDCs. There are 35, 36 CDCs in the city, and we can check, because people call us from around the country to give away houses.
And that's kind of what we're looking for, because we want compliance. Again, we don't want to send people to housing court, we don't want to go through all that. It's
I
a
would
long
mind with
process.
some people, it's not a bad idea at all.
There are some, we have done some where there's some landlords and we have reported them and they cannot apply to our grant.
But the issue about Easy Track that I raised earlier was precisely that. It used to be the case that the property developer, because they could not access the city's lead orders on the Easy Track system along with the building orders, would get stuck with a building if they had lead orders against it, and they couldn't find that out in their normal due diligence process. So it sounds as though you've got that under control, but that's a critical detail for the folks in this room who don't want to get stuck unknowingly with a building that's taking time bomb.
And at any time, you can call our office and find out that information too. If you have problems with Easy Track or it's not on there, I think definitely call our office. We can provide that information. It's public record.
Yeah, everybody's familiar with Easy Track, right?
If you give us just a little paragraph of contact information, we can put that in our newsletter.
Good.
That would be helpful. Kathy, did you have a question?
Yeah, does this include things like the slate roofs
No.
and the old-time asbestos asphalt
Nope.
on the floor? Nothing
Just paint.
for that?
Lead-based paint. But there are other things you have to do about that, and we can help you find all that out if you want. Are there any other questions, or are we winding down? I think we're winding down. Okay, well, so let's thank these guys.